America, what's going on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all those other good places. This is Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And I know I'm a few minutes early. However, I figured I'd jump on early just to check in with the people who's already waiting. This way we can do a little Q&A. You know what I'm saying? Just get to know each other. Just get to know each other. Get some of the preliminaries out of the way. Like, for example, can you hear me? Check one. Check two. Can you hear me? Does my mic sound nice? Check one. Uh-huh. If you can hear me, let me know. All right, let's see. Somebody on there said, Troy T, waiting. All right, I got to do my sound check. Good morning from the Philippines. That's what I'm talking about. So if you can hear me, Dallas, let me know. Just say yay or nay. Can you hear me? Thank you very much. Somebody beat you to it. All right. You know what? My vocals are getting bad. That's why I have to wear these dark shades at night, like Tony Montana said, okay? She sleep with those black shades on, okay? Wake up with Aquilo, okay? I can't even see the words anymore. I used to have 20/20 vision. True story. My eyes were horrible and years ago. And what happened is I had these non-scratch lenses. So I took my glasses back to lens crafters because they had gotten scratched. And they were talking about, oh yeah, we'll replace them. Well, I guess my warranty was out maybe like 30 days and they wouldn't replace it. So I called myself punishing them. I'm like, okay, you know what? You just lost yourself a customer. And I said to them, I'm never buying glasses again. Well, I paid the price for about a year. Couldn't see nothing. I probably need a prescription windshield. That's how bad my eyes was. They should have just took my whole car windshield out and made it into prescription. Nonetheless, my eyes got better and went back to 20/20 vision. I felt like a superhero, y'all. I thought I was a mutant. Doctor looked in my eyes and was like, I don't understand. This right here is an anomaly. You have 20/20 vision. So I had a 20/20 vision all the way up until I start doing this. And then all of a sudden I start noticing maybe the light on the eyes is probably not that good for it, but it's greater than me. It's greater than me. The show must go on. That's what must happen. So somebody asked about old man Teddy. He's hanging in there. That's what he's doing. He's hanging in there. But I tell you, man, it is something to behold. I mean, those that have family members that suffer from dementia or Alzheimer's, you know, it's amazing. It's a disease that's intriguing on one end, but very saddening on the other end. Because to watch the mind deteriorate like that, where a person's body seems to be relatively in good health, and their mind just deteriorates. I mean, on multiple levels. And it almost gets to a point where a person, you know, you're trying to find them in that, like, man, I'm trying to find bits and pieces of the person I know. And with my father, it's a little different because if you all know the backstory, his dementia mysteriously kicked in right after he got the you know what. That's what burns me up. And I found a study that accurately describes those symptoms as a result. And unfortunately, right at the time that they say they would notice those symptoms, that took place with my father. And his form of dementia is not like the normal dementia. I've seen people with dementia before. One, you don't get instant dementia. You know, my father's case, he woke up that day and just unraveled in one day. Two, you don't go in and out. And so his thing is he would be fine for a week. He would go out, be back, go out, on. And you're not aware that something's going on when you start drifting. And he's aware of it. You know, he would stop and ask me like, man, is something wrong? I know something's going on here. And he also knew that it might be related to what he chose to do, which burns me up. That's why I'm hard on MSNBC and CNN and Dr. Funky Fauci and all of them, because my father had the you know what and had built an immunity. However, when I wasn't around, he was getting a heavy dose of CNN, MSNBC. I'd come in the house, now you know you need to go do it now or you're going to die. And I kept telling him, don't do it, don't you do it. But I guess fear got the best of him. He went out and did it. And he'll often ask me, did I mess myself up? But you know, what can you say? You know, all I can say was, Dad, it is what it is now. Let's make the best of it. So it is definitely a change of life for him and me, but he's my father. Therefore, I don't look at it as a burden or anything like that. It's just a light affliction. It's a small temporary sacrifice compared to the sacrifices that he made for my butt all these years. And he made a whole heap of them for me, that's for sure. So anyway, with that being said, I am here. Let's get ready to get into this, man, because we got to make up for what we didn't finish yesterday. But then, of course, we had some new stuff pop up that just got all up under my skin. That's right, man. Made my Agent Orange start acting up. And we're going to address that. And, of course, dealing with the two topics that we talked about yesterday, which, of course, is this Durham report that just dropped. Now, I was wondering, how is the Funky News going to respond to this? I mean, they were a big advocate over this whole Russia collusion narrative. So how would they respond? And one person has come out and decided that they're going to defend that garbage. They're going to defend it, which is amazing. Sometimes you got to take the loss. Sometimes you just kind of got to turn and throw up the church finger and tiptoe out. That's it. Just tiptoe out. Act like you never heard about the Durham report. Don't mention it. Don't bring attention to it. Just let it be, like some other channels. But one person in particular decided, no, I'm going to tackle it. Therefore, I'm going to have to tackle her. And I think you all know who I'm talking about. But before we get into it, hit that like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other platforms. And crap, I forgot to type my alternative channels up there on my back screen. I'll do it next time. But please subscribe to my backup channels just in case something goes wrong here. And you know what I mean when I say something go wrong. All right, just in case something pop off here and I happen to just disappear, okay? Like all of those witnesses that seem to have started disappearing, trying to get Joe. You know, all those people who's going to testify against Joe, they just disappear. And I don't know what's going on with that. You know what I'm saying? It's just all coincidence, right? Quinky dink. Yeah, so nonetheless, please do all those things. Feel free to participate in the super chat. And of course, follow me on my Rumble channel as well. Now, with no further ado, let's get this party started. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Just some cheese in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. That's right, y'all. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and check in and see how people have been responding concerning what took place. First of all, with the whole FBI and them and so on and so forth. But remember, before I do that, remember last week, the town hall meeting? Yeah. Oh, somebody don't like it. Sonny from The View had some harsh words for CNN. Okay. So while trying to chastise CNN, she ends up making a complete of herself. Bigger than normal. Okay, so let's check it out.
I think that was a business decision. I think that CNN has lost so many viewers at this point, and they've defected to MSNBC and other places, that they want a chunk of that Fox News viewership. And they got a chunk of it and then lost it immediately.
Like
so now you have CNN, which used to be, in my view, an extremely credible organization.
What?
So now you have CNN, which used to be, in my view,
an extremely credible organization.
Now, see, this is the stuff that'll make a cute girl look ugly. See, because what happens is when you hear a statement like that, you start to question everything about them, their decision-making processes, how they interpret things around them. So either you're dumb or you're corrupt. That means we couldn't make it. If I was out on a date with Holly the Berry and she said, I think CNN's a credible organization, and she looked serious, immediately she will start to look like Phyllis Diller. She would start to look like Flip Wilson when he used to play the girl. I would be sitting there going, she's just turning ugly right before my eyes. You got to start questioning some things like, man, if the crap hit the fan and you and I are like Bonnie and the Clyde, and we got to ride and die like desperados, what kind of choices would you make? When you see stuff, how do you interpret it? How did you come to the conclusion that CNN was a credible news network. I figured that out immediately. I figured that out the first day Trump came down that escalator and made that announcement. And then I clicked on CNN and said, wait just a minute. That headline doesn't represent what I saw. Once I put that together, it was over. I could never unsee it again. But you will have people who watch CNN for years, and they will continue to manipulate, dip their audience, and they never come to the conclusion. So I guess Sonny has never been able to figure out who's pointing a little light beam. You know my analogy with my dog Shakespeare. The little pointer, that laser pointer, chased that beam, but never figured out where the light was coming from. So I guess she's chasing the beam. So she said that they used to be a credible news network.
Now, too many see the protests as the problem.
Well, look at that.
No, the problem is what forced your fellow citizens to take to the streets. Persistent and poisonous inequities and injustice.
Yeah.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Uh-oh. Yep, there it is. Peaceably to assemble. Oh, Price is Right. Cue music.
More than 50 former senior intelligence officials, they said a disputed set of emails from Joe Biden's son, Hunter, remember the ones published by the New York Post, they have all the classic earmarks of Russian disinformation operations.
What? Y'all hear that? Now, some people are saying they didn't get notifications. Thank you. If you didn't get a notification, please type that in there. And I uploaded 2 videos last night of the storyboard to what we were talking about yesterday and tonight. And so they probably counted those as 3, unfortunately, 3 videos within a 24-hour time frame. So according to YouTube, they don't send out notifications if it's 3 within a 24-hour time frame. However, I noticed that they don't send out notifications hardly any time when it comes down to my channel for some reason. Anyway, y'all hear CNN? Yeah, they believe those 52, I guess, intel agents that signed off on that. Now, this is all you have to think about to understand this is not a credible news network. They're not dumb. So either they jumped on board with the first narrative they got thrown out there, which would discredit them because as a news organization, you're supposed to vet the information. If the government come out and say, hey, this is what happened, you're supposed to try to go and do some research to find out if that's true or not true. They didn't do that. So that itself would discredit them. Then the other flip side to that coin is that means they knew that this wasn't credible, and they knew these people were sending out a bootleg narrative, and they just took it and said, we're going to manifest your will to the public because we're in cahoots with you. So either you're a corrupt network or you're incompetent network, but either way, you're garbage. And yet Sonny talking about they used to be credible. Oh, well, look at that. CBS confirms Hunter Biden's laptop is real. 769 days after, they're a little late.
Oh, shit. And surely the kid, Nick Sandman, he doesn't seem to be afraid, but he did make a choice, and that was to make it into a standoff. That was not a good choice.
Yeah. What? Oh, 275 million defamation lawsuit. Dun, dun, dun.
And by the way, I think President Obama also had a lot of TV star power, and that helped him pre-Trump. But Trump is more evidence of this. And looking ahead to 2020, one reason why I'm taking you serious.
You don't hear that? Little Brian Stelter and his best friend, Michael Avocado. Both of them have the open stadium. I don't understand what's up with these two. You never let them build the stadium. Tear it down before it gets built. You think I would look sexy if I'm rocking the open stadium look? Soon as I even thought that the stadium was in construction, I tore that sucker down. To this day, I don't know if I could grow my hair back or not. I didn't even want to take the chance. I was like, wait a minute. Is it a little thin right here? Oh, take it off. Take it off. Take it all off. Okay? I'm not going to let it make me do it. I'm going to beat it to it. Not these two. Not these two. They got that open stadium open for business. So let's see what little Brian Stelter has to say about his best friend, Michael Avocado.
Seriously, as a contender, is because of your presence on cable news.
Oh. He thought Michael Avocado could have been a president. Ooh, 14 years in prison.
I think we have to stop coddling people when it comes to this and the vaccine, saying, oh, you can't shame them. You can't call them stupid. You can't call them silly again. Yes, they are. The people who aided and abetted Trump are stupid because they believed his big lie. The people who are not getting vaccines, who are believing the lies on the internet instead of science.
We were stupid.
It's time to start shaming them. What else? Or leave them behind.
Leave us behind, please.
Because they're keeping the majority of Americans behind.
Let's see how true that is. Immunity inquiry. I gotta mumble this because this what got me kicked off. Immunity inquiry from a COVID infection, protecting. So basically, we were right. Did Sonny see all of these things? That's what I'm wondering.
And as we always say around here, facts first.
This is CNN, the most trusted name.
Wait a minute, my cut coming up.
That's not right.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself.
Trump, Russian sort of collusion.
Trump, Russian, possible collusion.
Trump, Russian, collusion.
Trump, Russia, possible collusion.
Trump, Russian, collusion.
Trump, Russia, possible collusion.
Trump, Russian, possible collusion.
Trump, Russian, collusion. Trump, Russia, Russian collusion. Trump, Russia, possible collusion.
Russian hacked our election. Here comes a big change.
It was
All
all
of a sudden, Trump.
bullshit.
Possible collusion. Russian collusion.
Trump, Russian, possible collusion.
Russian, possible collusion. Trump, Russians, collusion.
Collusion with the Russians. Trump, Russia, possible collusion. Trump, Russia, possible collusion.
Prove collusion. Prove collusion.
It was all bullshit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, we'll be playing here all week. The whole fake news band and everybody playing here all week. So I'm wondering if Sonny saw that new cut. Did she hear that new release? Trump, Russia, possible collusion. Yep, that's CNN, most trusted name in news. And Sonny said she used to have credibility for them. But since we were talking about all that Trump, Russia, possible collusion, the FBI responded to the collusion, y'all. So the Doe report came out. And I'm sitting there thinking, now, how is the FBI going to explain this? See, that's what I'm wondering. I was waiting on them to come out, and I'm thinking, if I was the FBI, you would have to somehow convince me why you shouldn't be dismantled after all of that. And here's their response.
The FBI putting out a statement today, had those reforms been in place since 2016, the missteps identified in the report could have been prevented. This report reinforces the importance of ensuring the FBI continues to do its work with the rigor, objectivity, and professionalism the American people deserve and rightly expect.
Did y'all hear that? That's their response. We fixed it. Yeah, we knew stuff was bad back then, but it don't operate like that no more. We fixed it. That's their response to one of the greatest insurrection / treasonous acts / crimes. We fixed it. We put things in place since then. First of all, you didn't. Because since 2016, y'all done spied on the Catholics. Y'all done spied on parents. Y'all done went after all of these Trump supporters. Y'all done did all of this stuff. And yet you're talking about, we fixed it. And we done found out y'all was colluding with Twitter. All of these things have still been going on under Ray's watch. But yet they're talking about, oh yeah, the Durham report came out. We knew all of that stuff. That's why we took care of it back then. Now, maybe they're trying to belittle our intelligence. This right here, when they always talk about, this Watergate. This was the worst and most blatant betrayal of our government and most abuse of power that I've seen or heard about in the history of our country. And that's their response. If they were real, they would say, you know what? Thank you for the report. Let's go back out and find every single one of these people mentioned in this report and throw them in a slammer. That's how you fix that. I mean, would they just overlook the crimes of Al Capone if they said, oh, well, you know what? The report came out. You know what? But he fixed it. He's better now. And plus, it happened, 5, 6, 7 years ago? Leave them be. No follow-up. So the evidence comes in. This shows they were corrupt. They colluded consciously and knowingly, went through all of this stuff to try to distort, to shut down, to interrupt, to discredit Trump, all of those things. And their response is, whoo, now aren't y'all glad we put new policies in place to fix that mess? Yeah, things are better now. Are they? So wait, you're telling me we're supposed to accept that raggedy statement without seeing a manifestation of some accountability? Y'all could at least try to throw somebody under the bus. You could at least try to go after somebody so that we could take you somewhat seriously. But y'all ain't even going after nobody. You just throw that out there. Oh, thanks for the report. Yeah, we already knew about those issues. That's why we put policies in place about, 6 years ago. There you go. Now let's move on because we want y'all to trust us moving forward to continue to do the upstanding work and I want to rip that statement up so bad. That's why they got to go. That's why they got to go. And then you have the cow gone mad. That's right. The cow has gone mad. Now, the FBI comes out with that raggedy statement, which is one belittling of our intelligence. But this woman is about to come out and throw her whole viewership's intelligence right in a shredder. Right in the shredder, y'all. Y'all ready for this gaslighting? Gaslight. Neon light. Mad Cow light. So here comes Mad Cow trying to explain that the Durham report was a big nothing burger. Come on, Mad Cow. Bring the cow out.
The long-awaited Durham report. Boy, they have been excited about this for a long time.
Hey.
Literally for years, former President Trump and his allies have been invoking the name John Durham, or sometimes Bull Durham, as the man who would save them and smite all of Trump's enemies.
Now I detect a little sarcasm in her voice. That's what I detect right off grip. So now she's coming out being condescending. She's laying the groundwork to undermine, I guess, our opinions and our beliefs about what took place. Because remember, she was a participant in that. She helped facilitate that. She was the #1 Russia collusion fan. And now she got to come out and try to downplay the Durham report. Now, watch what she does. This technique is amazing. It's fascinating to observe. Just from a full-blown, intelligent person, if I was doing an observation on manipulation, this would be a workshop. So the first thing she does is, one, she belittles the audience and belittles the people who believed it. She's trying to make us look like we were stupid and we were hoping for this thing to be our big old savior. No, we weren't. We've seen the handiwork of the Democrats and the corruption that they're able to get away with. So we're not shocked that nobody's being held accountable. We're not shocked that, they're not going to undo the election, all that stuff. We are happy that we've been validated and proven to be right. But watch how she flips that. So I can tell where she's going with this right off grip with that condescension in her voice and that big old toucan saying nose, almost covering up her mouth. You know your nose is big when it's covering up your whole mouth. Dang on it. Nose so big it's leaning to the left. Too big to be straight, just leaning off to the left like this. So let's finish hearing from Mad Cow.
For years, they have been heralding the great revelations John Durham would soon reveal about Trump's political opponents and the deep state and all their evil ways.
And he did. He revealed all of that. But watch how she tried to flip it.
When that didn't seem to be happening, Trump and his allies started pounding their chests and yelling at the clouds about why Durham hadn't acted yet, why he hadn't yet smote all of Trump's enemies, why, there were Democrats who weren't yet at Guantanamo.
And that's a good point. They should be. See, what she's doing is relying on a completely ignorant audience. Her audience doesn't understand the details in the background to this whole thing that unfolded. That's why there's not overwhelming outrage for some type of accountability across the whole country. See, if the whole country really knew the depth of betrayal that took place, they would be furious. But they put time in to convince these people that when stuff like this comes out, it's just nothing more than political hit piece. It's nothing more than those MAGA folks whining, this conspiracy theorists, because we don't want to look into the real details of it. We don't want to be able to insert ourselves in a position where we can say, what? Man, now, if that was me and the FBI spied on me illegally, made up a story about me, knew it was fake, colluded with government officials, starting from the president, vice president, all of those folks, all against one human. Now, if they could do that against the president, imagine what they can do to any individual in America. That's why whistleblowers are going, nope, never mind, forget it. I see too much go on. I see all of this corruption and nothing happens. So you go ahead, risk your job, risk your life, all of that stuff. And then you see it come out that these folks did this stuff and nothing happened to them. Hunter Biden, nothing's happening to him. Biden, nothing's happening to him. So here she is. Really what she's doing is about to prove a point that the system is so corrupt that they are bold enough to do this stuff, come out with a raggedy statement like we just read, and just say, okay, now what? So what, now what? There you go. We owned it a little bit. Look, it might have happened way back then, but we fixed it. We fixed it. Now shut up and whine about it.
Durham will do it all. John Durham was appointed by Trump Attorney General Bill Barr. His assignment from Bill Barr was to prove that when Russia launched its operation to intervene in the U.S. presidential election in 2016 to try to help Trump win, Durham was supposed to prove.
Now see, there it is again. She just lied right there. Russia did not launch no dang on Russia collusion campaign to help Trump win. She's still dropping in fake news and fake narratives. The report showed none of that took place. The only thing that we saw was they said they found some ads that was taken out on Facebook. Didn't show us the ads. I want to see the ads. So here she is, still once again, trying to allude to the fact that, yeah, Russia did play a part in swaying that election. Okay, but she's skipping over some very key pieces of the report, that there was absolutely no predicate for the FBI to launch an investigation. They knew there was no predicate, not to mention Hillary Clinton falsified it. Her buddy that we just saw on her show as I was exposing her last night during my live show. So now here she is trying to be condescending.
In this investigation, that the FBI was wrong.
They were.
To have investigated whether the Trump campaign itself was connected to what Russia was doing.
So it's obvious that she's going, oh God, please. I hope that people that are watching me tonight don't read even anything within this report, because the report says the FBI was wrong. There was no need to launch an investigation into the Trump campaign at all. No one within Trump's campaign contacted, colluded with the Russians, nothing. We all knew that years ago, but Mad Cow helped the deep state by pushing his propaganda every single night on Mad Cow's show. Every single night. Soon as they start trying to connect Carter Page and George Snuffleupagus as a predicate to why they decided to go and launch this investigation, I knew it was bogus right there. I said, wait, who? Who are these guys? Has either one of those two met with President? No? So you're telling me that the Russians somehow started saying, let's infiltrate into the campaign, get to Trump by going through two of the lowest level folks in this campaign, George Papadopoulos and Carter Page. You know how much time it would have taken for the Russians to work those two as assets all the way up to get to Trump. But yet, those two men were persecuted. One of them was brought up on charges. Your reputation destroyed. The FBI should be getting sued right now. They should be getting sued for defamation. And yet here she is still trying to pretend like, yeah, we had some legitimacy and all of that Russia collusion crap.
For 4 long years, John Durham's supposedly bombshell findings were always tantalizingly close.
And for 2.5 years, all of your rhetoric about Russia collusion was completely a lie. All of it. 100% of it. That's what she should be doing. She should be confessing to her audience that I got on here and bored y'all every single night with Russia collusion, and to find out that there was no collusion at all. But yeah, she's pointing the finger at us. She's pointing the finger at Durham. 4 whole years and he delivered nothing. For 2.5 to 3 years, you delivered nothing. On Trump's taxes, nothing. On Russia collusion, nothing. Okay. And yet Durham delivers, and he delivers the truth, but there's no accountability. So because we got a corrupt system that doesn't hold these people accountable, she's going to try to credit that as reasons of it not being anything. It's not worth it. Yeah, you know.
The damning evidence was going to come any day. It has really never worked out the way they hoped. In sum total, what John Durham got out of his investigation was one guilty plea out of an FBI lawyer, an FBI employee, who admitted he made a misrepresentation in a single...
A misrepresentation? Admitted. Now, she's choosing her words very carefully. It's just a misrepresentation. That's all it is. It ain't a lie. It's not a deception. It's just a misrepresentation. And what else?
Email. It should also be noted, though, that that lawyer's screw-up was discovered not by John Durham.
It was just a screw-up. It wasn't a lie. It wasn't deception. None of that. It was just an accident. It's a screw-up. Just like her.
But by an entirely different investigation that had nothing to do with John Durham. Nevertheless, that FBI employee did plead guilty to making a misrepresentation in a single...
Making a misrepresentation. See, there you go. We don't want these people to look evil. We don't want these people to look corrupt. We don't want this to look like espionage, James Bond type activities here. We don't want it to do that. So we're just saying misrepresentation. Don't get out there and say this dude was a colluder. This dude right here was in cahoots with all the most powerful Democrats that you support and love and serve. Because you have to serve them to come out after reading that report the other night and do what she's doing. Full-blown serving. I'm surprised she didn't go to Hillary like, oh, crooked, I shall clear thy name. I'm surprised she didn't do that to come out and prostitute herself like this with that big nose. All the kids can have a great time in the summer. If you just let some water roll down that nose, it'll be a slip and slide. Dang on it. Let's continue.
Email, and his punishment was that he had to do some hours of community service. Yeah, but that was kind of it. Last year,
John... You hear that? Downplay that? See, remember, you downplay the consequences to downplay the severity of the act. So, I mean, that was it. Hey, community service. You know what I'm saying? Slap on the wrist. That's the problem. So because our justice system has been corrupted, she now is using that to support her narrative that we found nothing. Because if it would have been something serious, people would have went to jail. People would have really been punished. They should have been. That's the point. These folks should all be in the slammer. And here she is.
John Durham finally did bring 2 criminal cases to court stemming from his investigation. He lost both of those cases in very quick acquittals.
Why? That's my question. Why did he lose those cases? Not because they weren't severe, not because it was untrue. All of those things were proven. These dudes did lie to the FBI, but it don't even matter because the FBI knew they were lying. All of them were in it together. Then they hold this raggedy behind trial up there in Washington, D.C., and we get another example of a 2-tier justice system. This is nothing but proving our point that the system is broken. However, she's using the broken system to justify why this whole thing about the Durham report is a big nothing to do. That's all it is. It's a big to do.
In one of those 2 cases, the 4 women of the jury actually came out of the courtroom after the case and told reporters outside that the trial had not been worth the effort. She said, quote, I think we could have spent our time more wisely.
Up in D.C. See, so you want us to say, well, just because you got some horrible jurors, some liberal jurors and judges up in D.C. that overlooked all the obvious evidence, didn't convict this man so they can make sure that Hillary Clinton and all of them still look clean. That's supposed to prove your point? I mean, that's like those jurors up there that convicted Trump of some bullcrap with that crazy lady who was on Anderson Pooper's show talking about, you know what, you're very interesting to talk to. And rape is very erotic and exciting to some people. Yeah, but somehow they ended up believing this crazy lady. And then they, sided with her and Trump got to pay some money. Anything goes up there. It all comes down to, all right, are we prosecuting a Democrat or Republican? Oh, so Republican, all right, all the jury, we already know we're going with this one. We don't need to go through the trial. Guilty automatically. But slap a Democrat up there and you'll overlook a million pieces of evidence and still, I don't see what the problem is. I mean, they was just doing what they had to do. I think he good. So here she is, trying to gloat over the fact that Durham didn't get a conviction. And really, her audience, if they knew what was going on, they would know this is a breakdown of the justice system because that man was guilty. And what this does to us, though, it is a mockery. what she's doing is belittling these crimes, and it's almost like bragging. Like, we could do this and get away with it. Yeah, we knew we were corrupt. We knew we did all of this information that just dropped from Durham. So what? I'm going to lie to my audience and say it was nothing, leave out all the major details, and then belittle this thing on national TV, almost like bragging that, yeah, we did it and got away with it. They didn't get away with it. And that's what pisses me off. See, that's what makes me want to turn green. That's what makes me want to say, soon as we get back in power, we need to go straight up Rambo on all of this corruption.
After the second not guilty verdict, this was the AP's headline. Quote, Trump's claim of crime of the century fizzles in 3-year probe. But that was okay, because that was only year 3. And the smoking gun was going to be in Durham's report, which we now know would come out in year 4. The report was still coming, right? John Durham's failed cases in court, they were all just part of a deep state conspiracy. When he finally put the report out.
Now, notice what she's doing. She's telling the truth, but doing it with sarcasm to try to make it look like it's a lie. It's absolutely 100% true. The deep state and their influence in those court cases is what got those folks off. And here she is. The deep state. So what she's doing is using the truth to undermine what really happened. She's using it, but she's real sarcastic while she's using it. Just like Joe Biden. They mention the obvious when they're up to something to try to discredit the obvious. So, for example, the other day when Joe Biden was over there at Howard University telling all those kids that the greatest threat to the homeland was white nationalism. Then he felt the need right afterwards to say, that's the truth. I mean, hey, look, and I'm not saying it's just because I'm at an all-black college. No, that's exactly why you're saying it. You just revealed what you're doing. You knew that it would be obvious to a lot of people, so you needed to address it. But you had to do it in a way that you tried to say, I know you might be thinking this, even though it's true, but I got to address it up front, beat you to it, and undermine it. Undermine your thought, undermine your common sense, undermine your ability to make that connection. But if you're smart, you will go, no, that's exactly why you're doing it. And that's exactly why you're telling us to don't think that I'm doing this just because I'm here at a black church. You shouldn't have the need to tell us that. So here she is up here talking about, well, you know, I mean, they said the deep state and all of that stuff. That's exactly what happened.
All would be revealed. Today, at long last, we have the report. For the Durham report, though, this really is it. Today, after all those years and all those millions of dollars, no charges against anybody else, no new evidence turned up or revealed. That's just it.
There's the gloat. There is the celebration. There is the belittling of our intelligence. This is the stuff that makes me want to go kung fu fighting. So all of that for nothing. That's just it. It proved nothing. No, it proved everything. But the results, we got nothing out of it. Meaning this, there won't be any charges brought up against these people. We know that. We weren't expecting the feds to slide down. Because see, let me tell you, if that was the case, they would have done it a long time ago. So if they have not drugged Big for Nothing Comey into the slammer yet, Hillary Clinton into the slammer yet, Joe Biden, I mean, look at Hunter. Running around, leaving crack all over the place. Everywhere you go, you could find him because of the crack trail. All right, just follow the crack drops and you'll find out where Hunter is. And nobody sliding down ropes through his chimney. No boats showing up at his crib. All of this stuff coming out about Biden and the money he's getting from. If they have not opened up a case and started going after this dude by now, it's a good chance we're going to have to wait until we're in power to actually do something. So it wasn't as if we were excited about, man, it's going to change everything around. It just simply exposes it. Now, since the report is done and the evidence is already there, now if we do flip it, now we need to prosecute because we know that Mayor Garlick is not going to do nothing. We know that the FBI ain't going to do nothing based on their raggedy response. Oh, thanks for letting us know that. Yeah, we knew that too. We were just saying that, thank goodness we changed some internal policies just to make sure that doesn't happen again. Now you can go back to trusting us. What? Domestic terrorists? People are showing up at these meetings and they're mad because their kids are being taught transgenderism. Oh, we better get those people. They're radical. Those people. So we got to clean house because Mad Cow been sent out to clean up.
And so that has to be a big disappointment because they really thought this was going to be the end of all of their enemies and the triumph of their eternal reign.
No, we didn't. We didn't think that. We did not think that. And notice what Mad Cow's butt did not mention. See, what she didn't mention is that, number one, they found no predicate or evidence of why the FBI should have investigated the Trump administration. Number two, they showed that her buddy, Hillary Clinton, came up with that garbage. Number three, showed that not only did she come up with it, but she took it to Brennan, and Brennan briefed Obama, briefed Loretta Lynch, briefed dang on James Comey, briefed dang on Biden, all of them in the meeting. None of them stopped it. They let it go. They all plotted. See, she left all those major details out. All of them. So you're right. We shouldn't be going after these low-level guys. We shouldn't be going after them. We should have went straight to the head. We should be going after the treasonous people that put this together. Started with Crooked, then Obama, all those people that was listed in that meeting right there. Brennan, Clapper, all of them. Every single one of them should be brought in and made to be, to testify to Congress. And really, we don't even need no testimonies because Durham already did the legwork. Just the fact that we have that documentation, that they brought that and briefed all of them on this, and the FBI still went forward, just that alone, we should be able to bypass testimonies in Congress and stuff. If we had a real AG, those people right now would be receiving subpoenas. That's what should be happening. This is the worst act of treason and sabotage that I could think of in our country. Now, granted, the JFK assassination probably got some nasty stuff going with that too as well. But good grief, this is now out in the open in our face. And then Rachel Maddow has the nerve to come out and try to belittle our intelligence. Why? Because she played a big part in it.
Bullshit.
Putin, Russia, hates Russia, Putin, Russia's Russia, Russian, Moscow, Russia, Russian, pro-Russian, the Russians, Russian, Moscow, Russian, Russia, Putin, Russian.
I should put the Humpty was Russia, Moscow. Yeah, that's right. It's just a freestyle.
That's what it is. Big nose, jolly green giant, having Humpty Dumpty nose.
Russia against us. Russians against the U.S. The Russians, Russian government scheme. The Russians, Vladimir Putin, Russia, Putin, and Russia, Moscow, Russia, the Russians, Russia, Putin, and Russia, the Soviet Empire, the second of the 20th century's great evils, communism in Russia, assault by Russia.
Putin despises the West in general and the United States in particular, Soviet Empire. Russia. They're the adversary. They want to bring us down, the Soviet Union.
It was all bullshit.
There you go. So it's obvious why she came out and tried to undermine that. All of that Russia took place in one episode on her show. That whole montage was made based on one episode of Rachel Maddow. And now here she is coming out saying, it's nothing, burger, this and that, Of course you would say that. Because you had a major part in pushing that propaganda and that fake news. Dang on it. Now I'm done with her big nose.
Shouldn't people be busted for these Democratic dirty tricks? FBI, CIA, Justice Department, the Hillary Clinton campaign, then the Joe Biden campaign. If we're going to clean house, in Washington, D.C., doesn't somebody someplace have to have some legal problems, convictions? I mean, someone has to be punished for this. Otherwise, what the heck? It'll go on forever. Just the next campaign, God knows what the current Biden campaign is up to.
And this is exactly why what she just did was very condescending and insulting to our intelligence. We know the corruption's going on. But the problem with it is nothing's happening. That means not only are these politicians corrupt and these agencies corrupt, but our justice system is also corrupt. And here you are boasting about it, because what you're really boasting about is the corrupt justice system. The fact that these people aren't being held accountable, and you trying to make that appear that, look, it's obvious they're not guilty because nothing happened to them. Or could it be they're not being shown as guilty because the powerful aren't prosecuting them? Could that be it? As we sit there and watch them break all kind of laws, persecute Americans, persecute conservatives, all of that, and we're seeing the obvious difference in rigor in regards to how the justice system goes after folks on the right versus the left, and you're trying to tell us just because the people on the left aren't getting persecuted and prosecuted, that shows they're innocent. No, that shows the justice system is corrupt, okay? That's what it shows. A narco-tyranny, that's what it shows. When you got some lady on Twitter who's a liberal who joked about conservatives not voting on voter day, but then you get another dude on the right who jokes about missing voter day with Hillary. You could vote through text message or something like that, and he's getting thrown in jail. See, it's things like that. It's things like us watching a plethora of clips of Antifa and Black Lives Matter tearing up stuff and burning down stuff, and they'll talk like, we can't find them. If we see them, we'll get them, but they do things at night, and we cannot. And the greatest threat to the homeland is white nationalism. And yet, y'all going after folks just peacefully protesting outside of abortion clinics and things like that. That's why, Rachel Maddow. So it's nothing to boast over. All you're doing is proving our point that there is corruption. Let's see what the senator says.
Now, listen, I share your concern. Obviously, I was disappointed that Durham didn't deliver more indictments. You know, I suppose his concern is it's very difficult to convict a Democrat here in Washington, D.C., in this district, because the jury pool is basically made up of 90% plus Democrats. So, you know, he wasn't going to indict unless he felt he could get a conviction.
Yeah. I mean, because that's how I feel sometimes. That's what I was saying about the whistleblowers. When you're sitting back and you say, man, these folks getting away with everything. Everything. And how can we get it out of the hands of Washington? That's why they want to confederalize. I mean, they want to federalize everything. They want to bring all of the power right up to Washington and leave the power out in the hands of the states. Because once they get it there, once they consolidate being able to determine the elections there and use the police state straight out of Washington, they're going to run the board. They will get no resistance. They want all, because nobody in that area is going to convict them. They're all buddies. See, that's the problem. Now, let's get back to another thing that they're getting away with. The crap they deliver. And people are getting mad about it. They're trying to wake up. But let's see if they can accurately identify the source of their sorrow. Getting back to this border, baby. Let's go to the border for a minute.
Are you that the measures that you've put in place are going to work?
I think that there is no question that this is going to be extremely challenging. I do not want to understate the severity of the challenge that we expect to encounter. The border is a very, as I said at the very outset, it is a difficult situation. Wow. It requires not only a community of action on this side of the border, but it requires a community of action south of our border.
You hear Mucus trying to gaslight us? You hear him up there. I said there was a difficult situation. It's going to require all this teamwork, and it's always complicated and stuff like. No, you make it complicated. You're making this seem as if this is greater than us, and this problem is a humanitarian crisis, and we all got to view it that way, and we shouldn't view it in the manner of which it really is, which is broken by design. And here you are trying to use this false narrative that we're doing the best we can, and this is a crisis that just organically took place, fell in our lap. And now we have to adapt and adjust to it. All of us, we got to work together. No, we don't. No, you guys created it. And now you're pretending that we got to work together. And you're trying to draft us into this narrative by tugging on our heartstrings and getting mad at us that see through it and say, no, y'all invited these people. You removed all the restraints. You told them to come on, basically. And now all of a sudden I'm a bigot. Huh. Let's continue.
What's going on, Tom?
My bad. went back a little further. Let's finish hearing Mucus lying to us.
Sponsor here in the United States to ensure. I think you are actually mistaken.
Sorry, I hit the button.
Mexico, it's
a little more.
Challenges as one team in an all-of-government approach.
Chief Ortiz, thank you for taking my question.
Oh, let's see how the Border Patrol
Back in March
thinks.
in McAllen, you told Republican lawmakers that the U.S. does not have an operational control of the southern border. Do you still stand by that statement? And if so, what is, do you need to gain control of the border?
Yeah, so the question that was posed during my hearing was the congressional legislative definition of operational control where nobody crosses the border. I've been doing this job for 32 years. We've never had operational control. Have we had various levels of control? Yeah, most certainly. Even while I was the acting chief or deputy chief here for 5.5 years, this side of Rio Grande Valley was very secure, but out on my west side, we had surges quite often in Rio Grande City, Stark County, and Hidalgo County. And that plays out across the entire stretch of the 2,000 miles border that we share with Mexico. And so I have some sectors that I have greater levels of confidence in just because the flow isn't what it is. But this morning, Chief Chavez's team apprehended 2,300 people in this sector.
Wow, 2,300 people in this sector. Now, I see what the chief is doing right here. He's trying to not embarrass his boss that's standing right there next to him by saying, okay, according to the definition of a secure border, meaning 100% secured, nobody crossing. Yeah, if that's the case, we've never had complete control of the border. But we also never had a fully open border. See, never having complete control to me means this. We caught 5 people running across the border, risking their life to get here. 5 people, and those 5 people should not be illegal immigrants coming here for a better life. They should be 5 criminals trying to either escape being prosecuted down there in the South America or drug cartel members trying to smuggle something in. Because our border should be so tight and the message should be so clear that only a criminal would say it's worth the risk trying to cross into the U.S. That's the only type of people that should be even taking a risk. And that should be so small that we should be able to say we had 10 attempts and all 10 have either been snuffed out or caught and thrown in a slammer. That's it. We shouldn't have 2,300 people coming across the border in one day.
And so that requires an awful lot of capacity and certainly poses some significant challenges for us. So I stick by my comments that I made during the hearing, but we've never had that.
Pathways and the plans that are in place, obviously, for majority Venezuelan migrants that was expanded to Haitian, Cuban, and Nicaraguan migrants. Why isn't that policy being enforced right now? Many of the migrants I'm meeting along the streets of Brownsville are swimming in between the ports of entry. As you had mentioned, if that happens, they're supposed to be returned. They're not being returned, and they're single adults without family here. Why is that happening?
So I think you are actually mistaken because the parole process for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans that we first announced and implemented on January 5th is underway and continues to be underway.
So she just made all that up? What she said she witnessed? That right there didn't take place? That's my question. How can you tell somebody that they're mistaken and they've seen something with their own eyes? This guy's the master of that. Here I am. My orchestra, you say the border is secure. Yes, the border is secure. Click. That caravan of people coming across, what is that? See, I think that's a mischaracterization of what you're looking at with your own eyeballs. It is not actually what it is. These people, that's what he's doing. The lady just said, she just talked to him. They're swimming down there. Okay, but yet here he is. I think you're mistaken.
And we continue, if I may, it does. And if I may, we continue to parole individuals of those 4 nationalities when they qualify under the program that we established and announced.
Which is what? We don't know what that program is. You done set up all kind of loopholes and programs to allow these people to slide in somehow. Working hard to bring them here, Mucus. That's what you're doing. What you're not doing is working hard to keep them from coming or discouraging them from coming. So all he does is say, you know what, that is a mistake, what you just said. So if it's a mistake and she actually witnessed it, then is it a mistake? You should have said, thanks for telling me this. Thanks for alerting me with your witness. I'm going to make some calls and get that mess together. That's what he should have said. But instead, he's saying, what you just saw, and now you're reporting on it, is a mistake. Okay, even though you saw it and witnessed it and it's happening, but it's a mistake.
And that requires a sponsor here in the United States to ensure that those individuals have financial stability.
Why do we have sponsors here in the United States? What are you doing, Mucus? What are you doing? Oh, I forgot. You're destroying the country.
And they are able to arrive in a safe and orderly way. That is indeed underway. And we continue to expel Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. The number of Venezuelans that we've been able to expel has actually diminished over the past 2 weeks. The cause of that is a very complicated one.
What? What is it? I'm smart enough to understand it. The cause of that is a very complicated one, but you don't want to get into those details? Huh? See, when he's not being pressed in Congress, he throws out this garbage right here. See, he can get away with throwing out stuff to sound good, being very vague. It's complicated. We're working on it. We're doing the best we can. And the reporters can't just drill him down. See, that's why I love it when they bring him up to Congress and light his tail up.
We've sat down with the Mexican government, and those expulsions, and of course, in a post-Title 42 environment, those removals will continue. And that is why the message is so important.
What message?
That people, vulnerable people, are receiving false information. They are being lied to, that if they come and arrive at our border, that they can stay in the United States. That is not what the law provides. That is not the consequence that we will deliver.
Y'all hear Mucus? Boy, I tell you, mixed messages all over the place. That man right there is sending all kind of mixed signals. The message is that people are coming. No, Mucus. The message is clear. That's why they're coming. If the message was very clear and the results and the actual backing up what you're saying was very clear, then they wouldn't come. If the actual consequences were put in place, these people wouldn't come. What you're doing is sending the subliminal message that you can come because we still letting you in. But what's coming out of your mouth is not matching what we're seeing. See? So what do you think these people are going to look at and say, I believe this versus that? We hear Raggedy Mucus up there saying that they are receiving false information. They're not going to be allowed in, and yet they're being allowed in. If I see a big old fat line of people waiting to go in and Border Patrol members are writing down stuff on a piece of paper and say, go ahead in, I'm going to believe that versus what that bum just said. So let's hear from some people who knows what's really going on down there at that border.
Trump's Title 42 expires at midnight. Congressman, what do we know now about how many illegal immigrants are heading to the border?
We've gotten word that there's 40,000, mostly Venezuelans, going up here. The incentivization is still there. In fact, more so now that Title 42 is going away.
Wait. I thought Mucus said there was no incentive in all of that, even though he's building more shelters, even though they're preparing to house some of these people, even though they... But I thought the incentive and the message was the border's not open. You shouldn't be coming. Huh.
Deliberately dismantling the last of our tools to control and get a secure border. Deliberately. It is, I know of no other developed nation, Liz, that has zero borders.
I don't know of any underdeveloped nations that have zero borders. You could go to some African tribes, some Brazilian rainforest tribes, and they will... You go in the area they live in, you'll get it. You'll get a couple spears. You'll get a couple poison dart, frog darts. Something might get strung upside down and be worried about getting eaten. Dang on it. And yet we got America going, we can't stop them. Yeah, it's greater than us. So what that man is saying right there is true. He's saying that you remove the last line of defense. And trying to tell us that we're doing the best we can. All the restrictions, took off all the brakes.
like we have because of Alejandro Mayorkas and Biden's border policies.
What do you think of what's going on, Tom?
Tom.
How many illegal immigrant caravans? What's the number that you're hearing?
No, it depends where you're looking at. South of Reynosa, south of Rio Grande Valley, you got about 25,000 there in shelters, and south of El Paso, you got over, last count was over 40,000 between the stretch from El Paso to the Big Bend sector. Look, this is, I agree with the congressman, this is a self-inflicted wound.
Self-inflicted wound. Self-inflicted wound, Americans. We're going to see how deep this wound goes in a second. See, it's one thing when you just scratch the surface. You might not realize how severe the wound is. But when you start seeing that white meat, when you start seeing that bone, you're like, it's in the bone. I can see the white meat. Folks in America is starting to see the white meat. See, some of them starting to see the bone. But when it was just scratching on the surface, a lot of these people in our interior, they didn't know they were cut. They didn't know how deep this was. They didn't know how deep the self-inflicted wound is. So they walked around like it was nothing. And now we're about to find out that they're going, that's to the white meat.
If they want to secure the border, Liz, they can re-implement Remain in Mexico program today. The federal court has said it was legal. That was a game changer for the Trump administration. Again, the federal court said it was legal. Matter of fact, the federal court ordered the Biden administration to put it back in place. They just ignored the federal court order. So I find it disgusting that this administration inherited the most secure border in my career. Not even immigration at 45 years old. And they unsecured it, not by mismanagement or incompetence, on purpose.
So wait, you hear, Tom? They inherited the most secure border in his whole career, and they unraveled it on purpose. How do you do that? How do you blow a lead like that? How do you do that? Dude, that's like me inheriting Bill Gates' money, and about 3 years later, I'm broke. I laid it out for you. It was perfect, man. You had billions. I come back 3 years later, and you're broke? How did you do that? You must have just went out like the prodigal son and blew all the money. So they inherited everything from Trump. We had the best economy. We had the more secure border. We had our military that was solid and tight. We had peace all over in the Middle East. We had a lot going on. We were energy independent, and they came in and flubbed it all up. So now, are these people just that incompetent? Are they that ungrateful of inheriting something that is very good? Can they not identify things that are working and say, let's ride that out? You're telling me you come in and you say, okay, everything looks to be going fine here. The American people are happy. They all got jobs. We're prospering. Let's go ahead and change all that up. Let's make it better by making it worse. And yet, you got Americans would still go out and vote for these dodo birds.
I mean, if Joe Biden did what I did and did what other Republicans have done, go to the border, you could see what we need. Okay, and by the way, he's sending these troops down there. Now, this is after 70,000 people have died of fentanyl. We've got criminals coming across the border, terrorists coming across the border, Chinese spies coming across the border. Migrants keep saying the border's secure. So here's my question for him. When you send all these troops down there, are they to process more illegal immigrants to come into this country? Or is it actually to do his job, secure the border, enforce the law? We have to have a border.
Look at Creepy. You see Creepy right there creeping? That creeping. So that's when he went down to the border. I think that one time where they cleaned up everything, and he just made a cameo appearance because he was catching heat. So Creepy, he's not going down there. We saw him yesterday on my show on that bike with that big old fat helmet talking about something. No, not going down there. It'd be worse if I go and blah blah blah. So he don't want to go down there and look at that mess. He don't want to go down there and observe what he has created. So now, like he just mentioned, look at all the carnage that's done come out of that. 70,000 folks died of fentanyl, all of that. And we got Chinese nationals coming across. No telling what they bring in. All engineers, too. We done caught some terrorists. I mean, that's just the folks we caught. No telling all the 380-something thousand getaways. Who knows? Who knows who's over here? But you know what? Mucus don't care. Biden don't care. They're all secure. They're good to go. But the people are going to pay the price, which we're going to now find out who those people are.
Finish the wall. put the stuff we spent while Trump was president for the technology. I mean, we have laws. We can enforce our laws.
You can.
But Mayorkas and Biden have said, nope, we're going to have a completely open border. We don't care that 70,000 Americans are dying of fentanyl. We don't care that criminals are coming and terrorists are coming. That's the attitude that Biden and Mayorkas have right now.
And see, that's why it is a narco tyranny. That's what it is. It is, we have the power to enforce our will and our laws, but we are selective about which ones we enforce and who we punish. That's how you know what kind of system you're working with. I can see if we were Al-Qaeda, Calcutta, whatever that one country is, Calcutta, whatever it is. I could see if we were Botswana. I could see if we were some little small country, Madagascar, something like that. Small resources, no real military, no real technology and stuff like that. Now we might be able to say, hey, look, we're doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can. But when you're the U.S., and you can locate a quarter or a nickel from a satellite, but you're telling me we can't stop these people coming across the border. You can track down all of the folks through facial recognition that walked around the outside of the Capitol on J6, but can't find Antifa, can't find Black Lives Matter members and all of that stuff. Can't find that bomber, alleged bomber who was trying to blow up a chameleon here. Can't find them. Can't find all of these folks that are vandalizing these organizations that don't support abortion, writing their names in paint on it, all because it's at nighttime. So I guess that's the time to commit crime, y'all. I said the nighttime. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Is the right time for crime. That's what it is. FBI can't do nothing if you commit the crime at night. Can't see you. Just throw on some black, throw that Antifa mask on, and go to looting, burning, all that stuff. Yeah, that's their excuses of why all of these obvious differences are taking place. So now they're saying, yep, it's greater than us. We got a major problem down there. Let's go ahead and head up to New York. Oh, there he is. Look at that little peanut head right there. That guy right there. New York, it's a brand. It has a brand.
Where the heck is the President of the United States?
Sleeping.
That is a good question. This should not be happening to New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, and the other big northern cities. And really, it should not be happening to El Paso or Brownsville, Texas.
Uh-oh, sound like a white nationalist. Hey, a little bit of that white nationalism must be rising up in the mayor. Yeah, see, now he even got the nerve to empathize with the southern border states. For a while, he was like, you know what, this is a shame that they're sending all these people up here to just these black mayors and stuff like that. Now that the crap's hitting his fan, now that cut, he's starting to see, whoa, this to the white meat. This in the bone. Now, it don't seem so funny. Now, it don't seem like just a scratch that you don't have to worry about because it's way down there. It's way down there. Now, it's in your bone. And here he is. It shouldn't be happening.
It's a national problem, and it needs a national solution.
That was New York City Mayor Eric Adams slamming President Biden for missing in action on the border crisis as illegal migrants overwhelmed New York City. Adams also said yesterday that the city exhausted its hotel housing options for migrants and is now moving to utilize 20 school gyms.
School gyms. Let's see how the locals like it. All those Democratic voters up there who had a chance to vote out those raggedy Democrats, and they voted him in anyway. Where's AOC? Is she down there managing stuff? Is she down there directing traffic? Huh? Telling the folks where to go? Is she letting some of these folks stay at her crib? No? Okay. So now when you exhaust all the hotels in New York, that means you got a lot of folks on your hands. That means you're getting overwhelmed. So let's see. Now they're reverting to just sending them to schools. And I guarantee these liberals are excited about it. Put them right next to our kids.
As shelters. He claims students will not be directly impacted by this move, but parents are disagreeing. Watch this.
My concerns are number one for safety, respect, and dignity. It is not safe for our children. All of the activities that we would have had in that gym are off limits now.
Wow. Now look at that, guys. You mean to tell me regular liberal folks don't want illegal immigrants in their neighborhood and by their schools too? Are they white nationalists? Are they xenophobes? Do they want to keep America white again? Are these those extreme MAGA folks they're talking about right here? Only reason it makes sense to not allow these illegal immigrants to come here is because we're white nationalists and we want to keep America white. Or could it be it doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense? Even liberals now are going, whoa, whoa, whoa. This don't make no sense. No sense. And she's not white. She's an Asian lady. Let's see how this
Some cases, they're adult males. I don't feel safe having adult males with no health screenings, no criminal background checks around our children.
Oh, yeah. Now, these are the type of white liberals, white nationalists I like to hang out with. Did y'all hear those radical extremists talking about this don't make no sense? You can't screen them. You don't know their background. This is what the Democrats have brought to the country, y'all. Let's hear these people
impacted
again.
by this move, but parents are disagreeing. Watch this.
My concerns are number one for safety, respect.
Look at that Asian white
dignity.
nationalist.
It is not safe for
You're not fooling me with those
children. All
eyes
the
that look
activities
Asian.
That we would have had in that gym are
I think it was a
off
Chinese
limits now.
eyes.
Some cases, they're adult males.
Look at
I don't
this
feel
Latino
safe
white
having
nationalist.
adult males with no
Adult
health
males.
screenings,
No
no
health
criminal
screening.
background checks
No criminal
around our children.
Around our children. There you go. Welcome to New York. Boy, I tell you, man. Now, the question becomes, are y'all going to wake up and see who's doing this? Now, here they all sounding like Republicans. Why aren't they voting for Republicans? Because I can't think of one Republican that says, yeah, that's a good idea. I would have voted for that. Not one. But these folks talking like us radicals now. Go home. We don't want you. Look at all those white nationalists right there. We don't want you here. Oh, that's xenophobia. All xenophobia going on up there in New York. Yeah, boo, go home. We don't want you here at our school's our kids' school in the gym. We don't want that. Why not? I thought we have to embrace all illegal immigrants. Let them babysit your kids. Don't worry about it, because see, Mucus took 2 minutes to have his folks vet these people. That's plenty enough time to make sure they're not dangerous. 2 minutes is way enough time to make sure your children are safe around them. All these races. Y'all ready to witness a dummy versus somebody who's smart? This is dumb versus smart right here. Listen to this liberal right here.
Okay, exactly. Who are they? Families who fled war. They're not families.
They're not families?
No, they're men coming in. Okay. They're all individual.
Why
men,
are they
and they
fleeing?
can come and go.
Why are they fleeing?
But they shouldn't be near the children.
Have you found out why they're
This is a
fleeing?
school.
Why are they fleeing? That's her question. This is your mind on liberalism right there. This lady just told her they're not families. They're mostly men. She agreed. Oh, they're not families? First of all, didn't even know that. They're not families? No, they're mostly men. And her question to that was, did you find out why they're fleeing? Who gives a crap why they're fleeing? Did you? How about you walk your butt in there and dwell amongst them? Bring a couple of strangers to your crib. This is the dumbest stuff right here. This is the liberal brain. And I wonder how dumb it gets, man. I wonder if they even know how crazy they sound. You're sitting here arguing with this woman about a whole bunch of illegal immigrants being thrown in a gymnasium that just got built, keeping the kids from being able to utilize that gymnasium. And they're mostly young adult men, unvetted. And this woman's talking about, did you ask why they're fleeing? Who gives a darn? Boy, I'm glad. Ooh.
Why is there school safety in school? Why do we need school safety?
Why are they unsafe?
Why are they
Do you have
unsafe?
a criminal record? Do you have proof of a criminal record?
Do you have proof of a criminal record? Until Jeffrey Dahmer got caught, he didn't have one. There's a whole bunch of them. A lot of murderers, rapists, and stuff like that don't have one until you catch them. Who's willing to take one for the team to expose that they're criminals? Are you willing to risk your kid with that? Are you willing to take that risk? Did you find out if they got criminal records? No, that's the government's responsibility. And that's exactly why we're mad about this. See, because none of them are vetted. There's no way you could find out if these people are dangerous or not. When they're coming in, those numbers overwhelming our border, all you can do is process them in real quick and send them straight to all of these cities they claim they're sanctuary cities. And then you get dummies like this, who's sitting here arguing with this woman who's concerned about the safety of her kids. And talk about, did you check their background? Did you see why they're coming? We should deport her. Send her down there.
How about you call the mayor and say you want to have them live in your house?
Oh, you hear that? How about you call the mayor and have him say, you want to come in your house? You think she's going to do that? Sure. All liberals is a whole bunch of this and not anything to show for it. You think this woman right now is going to go over there to those grown men and say, 5 of you can fit in my house. I trust you. If that's the case, you're the most naive, dumbest person, and you're setting yourself up for trouble. These people try to act as if God did not give us intuition. If he didn't give us a healthy bit of suspicion and caution, it doesn't make you racist. It's a survival thing. You don't have that, lady. You're the person that will get eaten by the crocodile, thinking that it's smiling at you. I mean, let's not judge it. Let's go over to it. I mean, these animals can be misrepresented. We don't want to demonize the crocodiles. Now, they're there. What's your problem, buddy? What do you need? What's your needs? Oh, you need my whole arm? Absolutely. Because that's exactly what would happen. So just because folks have a healthy sense of suspicion and caution, now all of a sudden, they're racist.
Good. Get a name and send them to the
What
mayor.
is this fear?
Go this way. It's not fear.
What is this fear?
You don't have a...
There it is, y'all. There it is. Phobia. Y'all hear the mind of that liberal? What is this? What is this fear? Now I'm going to attack your character. I'm going to say all of your decisions, your concerns are being motivated by fear. Now, even if it was, so what? I mean, how many naive people got in the car hitchhiking, find yourself tied up in Buffalo Bill's basement, and puts the lotion on his skin or else he gets the hose again? That's when the fear's real. You should have let that fear stop you from getting in the car with Buffalo Bill. Just put the freaking lotion on your skin, lady. Yeah, that's when the fear becomes real, when you're dumb. That's when it does. So here she is. What is this fear? What is this fear? Unreal.
A record of a criminal record. This is not fear-based.
Tonight, we're learning that several schools will be used to house incoming asylum seekers.
All right, as you can imagine, many parents aren't happy with the plan, claiming they were never told. Ashley Rodriguez live outside one of those schools in Williamsburg, Brooklyn tonight with reaction to the latest plan. Ashley.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I thought Democrats respected their constituencies. I thought that they were trying to be very transparent with their people and you know what. So it's appearing as if when the Democrats get out there and talk about how inclusive they are as a party, they're not speaking for all their voters, because apparently their voters now are white nationalists and xenophobes. See, so all of that sounds good until they all show up at your door. So on one end, this is sad to watch. On the other end, hopefully there's a lesson to be learned. Don't vote for Democrats.
That's exactly what parents are saying. I mean, really, the city surprised everyone in this area that they were bringing migrants to be housed at the school. They told them yesterday afternoon. And not only that, the migrants will be taking over the newly renovated gym that services both PS-17 and MS-577.
Wow, the new gym. Those migrants are going to be placed and housed in that nice, lovely, new renovated gym. There you have it. 1 day warning. Oh, by the way, tomorrow we're going to have like 500 migrants in the gym where your kids go to school.
Give it to your parents. Tell them
Oh, look at that Asian white national.
PS-17 and MS-577 in Williamsburg stand outside during dismissal Monday afternoon, passing out flyers that say in big, bold letters, "Keep our kids safe."
What? That's fear. That's xenophobia. You're judging these people. You should embrace them. Where's Martha's Vineyard? I'm sure they want to take them all, right? I'm sure they're very trusting. Even though they got those small amount out of there in 24 hours, though. We don't want them. They're riffraff. They're riffraff. But now, all of a sudden, they just get dumped in this inner city amongst most of these Democrat voters.
I don't mind giving a helping hand.
Yes,
but when it interferes with the education of our students, yes, I do care.
Parents say they were given no notice about how many migrants are coming and who they are. Not only that, but the school's recently renovated gym is now off limits.
Whoa. They waited like 2 years for the gym.
2 years.
To get built and to come outside or winter locked up in the school.
The kids will effectively be under a lockdown during recess. And they blame Mayor Eric Adams. They intend to tell him what's on their mind through a rally Tuesday at 8 a.m.
Now, wait a minute. Don't just blame Mayor Adams, y'all. Don't do that now. I can't let y'all slide on that. Now, I do worry about the kids, because Kevin love the kids. Kevin love the kids. You got those kids out there jump roping. You got them out there missing from Alabama. We are having up. You got them doing that. You got them double dutching. All of that. And right next to a whole bunch of illegal immigrants with the gate open. Can't even use their gym. Came out of one lockdown, got thrown into another, both responsible by the Democrats. All these lockdowns, all responsible. Democrats. So don't get mad at just Mayor Adams if you voted for that dude. Don't get mad at nobody but yourself. And I hope you think about it the next time somebody's on the ballot.
The mayor really got to look into the law, into what's permissible.
The location of PS 17 and MS 577 is now one of 150 temporary shelters in the city.
And New York starts spreading the news. Do, 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 do. I'm leaving today. Up in New York, y'all. I want to get up out of here. New York, New York. Do, 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 do. Yeah. So, hopefully these folks are waking up. Honey, go pack up the station wagon. We're leaving.
Counting the 6 locations recently designated. The news coming down as 4,200 migrants arrived in the city last week.
It doesn't have to be in the public schools. They can put them somewhere else.
PS 17.
So wait a minute. That's a Latino lady, right? Right? She should be supportive of it. Because the Democrats, you know, with their identity politics, want all the minorities to get on board with their abuse of us. They want us all to support how they will abuse us, send these folks into Black and Latino neighborhoods and assume, like, what are you worried about? They're your people, aren't they? I mean, you're Black, they're Black. I mean, you're Asian, they're Asian. You're Latino, they're Latino. Just be quiet and support your people. Don't be a sellout. And now you got all these people saying, we don't care about race, color, we care about common sense and safety. See,
Team does have a standalone gym. You can see it right there. The only issue, according to parents, is that they have to leave open the gate so that migrants can come and go freely. And as you can see, the school is
right
just feet away.
There you go. School right there. Gym right there. But I'm sure nothing could go wrong. It's far enough away. Even though I could throw a rock from the school over and hit the gym. But it's far enough away with the gate open. Thanks a lot, Democrats.
No safety. They're giving us one safety officer.
One safety
Just one.
officer. That's enough.
One. We only have 2 for a school of 700 kids.
Whoa, there you go. Now, wait a minute. Democrats want to defund the police, less policing and stuff. Why don't they just send some counselors up there? There we go. We'll get some of those counselors just in case some of these grown adult Latino men decide to snatch one of the kids. I'm sure that counselor will counsel him out of it. Come on now, buddy. You don't want to do this. Come on, put the kid down. Come on. You shut up talking to me before I kidnap you. Now, easy. I know you probably come a long way and you have lots of hurt on the inside. You say one more word, man. I'm going to shove this kid right down your throat. Okay, easy. Tell you what, you go ahead with the kid. Let me go find our one police officer to stop you. There you go. Makes me feel comfortable and safe.
The mayor's office responded, saying, "We are out of space. As the mayor has said, nothing is off the table as we work to fill our moral mandate. But we should all expect this crisis to affect every city service."
That's not fair. And it only happens on low-income communities.
Yeah, now you're just waking up, lady. Took you all those years? MAGA. See, you sound like someone who believes in America first. This is not fair, huh? Our communities, Democrats, these folks are voting for the wrong people. People need to go and look at all of these normal, regular Democrat folks being abused by their Democrat politicians, and maybe they'll wake up and realize the other party isn't filled with racists, but common sense folks that look at this and say, why would you do this to your people? Why would you do this to your country? Why would you open up your borders knowing you can't hold this and then send them all to the inner city and dump them in there right next to the kids and tell them, handle it, deal with it? Unbelievable. Go on, mama. Finish.
Well, our children are failing and not empowered in any way.
Thank you.
Makes me angry.
Now to the migrant crisis, New York City has turned to using schools to help some people of more than 6,500,000 asylum seekers who have arrived in the area since last spring.
Meanwhile, the town of Newburgh holding a meeting tonight to address migrants New York City has sent there on buses. An outrage after about 20 homeless veterans were forced to leave a hotel to
There you go, veterans. I don't understand how police officers vote for Democrats, veterans, current military serving folks. I don't understand it. So this is how they treat our veterans, y'all. Send all the illegal immigrants up there. Get your butt out of here. Nasty, stinking veterans. Scram. We have new kids on the block. Here we go.
For the immigrants.
65,000 asylum seekers have been here.
65,000.
What to do now?
Well, Sade, we've been here in the town of Newburgh for most of the day and still no buses arriving from New York City here at this town of Newburgh hotel right along Route 300 here in Orange County. In fact, we talked to a sheriff's deputy about 40 minutes ago, picked his brain as to whether he's received any sort of alerts or advisories regarding the buses. He has said no indication as to if or when those buses will arrive.
So what they gonna do with the veterans? When the veterans, what's gonna happen when the illegal immigrants get there and the veterans are like, what? I gotta pack up my ball and bat and go home?
Nonetheless, just inside the Ramada, there's a welcome sign for the migrants, and then there are numerous social service workers inside, ready and waiting.
I want to kick all of these folks in their butt. Big fat welcome sign in there for the migrants. But yet, Mucus is like, we don't want people to send the wrong message. Welcome sign. Hotel stay. All of that. What message is that sending? Hey, how about all you veterans get out of here? Put a welcome sign up for the illegal immigrants coming. While saying that no, if you come, you're going to get turned away. You're not supposed to be coming. I want to send that message. However, the welcome sign overrides what you just said, Mucus. I think that speaks bigger than your false statements you just made.
Joseph Brooks stood outside the Ramada in the town of Newburgh and worked his cellular flip phone. After a 1-month stay at the Orange County Hotel, the 62-year-old retired food service worker suddenly needs a new place to sleep.
What?
He tried to rebook today, but workers told him there are no vacancies until December.
But why
because
not?
asylum seekers from New York City are soon to arrive. What's next?
I gotta find me another hotel. You know, I was gonna try to get back here, but it's not happening.
Not far away at the Crossroads Hotel, some of the newly arrived migrants soaked up the midday sun, scrutinized their paperwork, and wondered where their journey would take them next.
Enjoying themselves. Soak up a little sun. You're in a new country. You're good. You made it to the promised land. Yeah, there you go. There you go, voters. This is what the Biden administration has brought and produced. Nothing but chaos. And now that chaos has come inland. These cities need to fill it because these are the Democrat strongholds. They need to know that they've been cut to the bone. They need to no longer be like, it's just a scratch. They need to be going, I need some attention. I'm squirting. This is not normal. Blood's everywhere. While the Democrats ignore my wound, they're the ones that sliced it. So stop voting for them. Now, as these young men right here, all men, just relax, look at the paperwork, and enjoy the sun.
A lawsuit filed by Orange County leaders says to make room for the busloads of asylum seekers, hotel management canceled some reservations and evicted guests, including some military veterans. Wow. Ridiculous, says Vietnam veteran Ronnie Yembris, who showed up to check on his
America
brothers.
first, right? Could you imagine waking up in the morning for your coffee and you say, hey, we got to get out? And maybe the guy just found the room. Maybe he's been looking for a while. I just don't get it.
Back in the
But wait a minute, I support our troops. Like Benny Hill. That's who Biden looks like is running our country. Benny Hill. So let's see.
5 boroughs, a public school gymnasium at PS 188 in Coney Island will now serve as a temporary emergency shelter for asylum seekers, joining the previously announced shelter plans at a former school on Staten Island. Preparations are now underway at 2 more schools as well. The detached gym in Coney Island will house about 75 migrants. They will not have access to the school, but that does little to ease the worries of anxious parents.
White nationalist parents? I'm sure. You see this black white nationalist lady right here? You got the nerve to not give these illegal immigrants the benefit of the doubt that they're peaceful, gentle woodland creatures and come in here just for a better life. Huh? Let's see what she got to say. Spewing her division.
You mean as far as living?
Well, just for now.
And how temporary is this?
They don't really know. Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't think this is a good idea.
Oh, what?
Because it's inside of a school.
I asked
What? What do you mean you don't think it's a good idea, lady? Democrats have great policies. Their ideas are amazing. They always make sense, and they always start with America first. Just like this. Except for your kids. Your kids aren't first. Wait, and then the veterans, they're not first either. Oh, wait, and then there's the workers. The workers aren't first. All right, wait a minute. Okay. Who's first, actually? Well, us. Us is the Democrats. We're first. Then there's Ukraine. Then there's the illegal immigrants. And then we'll filter down the transgenders. Yep, there we go. And work our way all the way down to you common, ignorant voters that vote for us. There you have it. Yeah, I'm belittling your intelligence.
Counties, to be helpful to us in identifying any sites. I mean, doesn't mean we're going there, but just let's look at the
y'all
whole
voted for her.
array of options that we have in the state of New York.
Now, you see Bucky Beaver? You see the big tooth lady? You see Roger Rabbit teeth right there? Right there, talking about, let's see what
Now, Governor Hochul acknowledged the lack of communication between the involved parties here, the state, the county, the city, she says has contributed to what she called the contentiousness surrounding this humanitarian crisis. Also, we should point out, she said she's yet to receive any word from the Biden administration about possibly using federal space like Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn as a site, a large-scale site for the asylum seekers, she said.
And you're not going to hear from Biden. That guy's running around somewhere talking about racism or something. Talking about, when I was a kid, my dad told me, Joey. That's what he's doing. He's running around here trying to eat some chocolate chip while you guys deal with all the big problems. Wow. Now, humans have a tendency to have a short-term memory. That means that all of this right now, this ticking them off, when voting time comes, and they start hearing about racism and white nationalism, they will vote the same type of dummies right back in that just disrespected and abused them and put their kids in danger by throwing all those immigrants in there.
That would help.
Law of Sanctuary City was in place long before I became mayor.
What? Now all of a sudden, Mayor Adams is moonwalking. He's moonwalking, y'all. Talking about the sanctuary city. Now he's alluding to how stupid this is. Huh?
I'm following the law. As a law enforcement person, you know we follow the law. We're now in court today, asking the judge to revisit this law to deal with this humanitarian crisis. Because even when they decided to put in place that law, no one thought that they would be dealing with a humanitarian crisis of this proportion.
Yeah, y'all didn't think it'd affect y'all. That's what it was. You didn't think it would impact y'all. Just like most dumb liberal voters, just like those low-level Democrats who have to handle the problem, the ones that got to handle the problem, it's easy before it all comes to your city and you're demonizing all of those governors down there on the border for not wanting these people to come in. Sitting way up in New York, way in Washington, out there talking about these guys down there. All this is spiraled by xenophobia and hate and racism and all of that stuff. What? You're bringing how many to our city? 25,000? Now the angry mob of my own voters are wanting my head. Now all of a sudden I'm trying to problem solve and deal with the logistics of all of this. And folks mad and upset saying, what are you going to do about this, Mayor? And I hear nothing from the White House. And somebody done put something stupid in place like a sanctuary city. Sanctuary city. Now let's go back and revisit that. Now I want to be an American first mayor. Now I want to be a xenophobe A white nationalist. That's what I want to be? Dummies, man. Oh, let's go to Chicago, y'all. See if they doing any better.
Resources that have not come to us. Now you want to overly
What are all those KKK members doing there? Why are all these Nazis, white nationalist extremists gathered there complaining about all of these precious illegal immigrants being dropped in their neighborhood? I'm sure it's driven by hate and anger.
compensate for people who never lived here before, and we need to be taken care of first and foremost before anything else happens.
An extremist.
Yes. Why would any leader put our black communities already riddled with crime at further risk by placing unvetted non-taxpayers steps away from our seniors?
We've been asking that forever. All of us conservative white nationalists been listening to those Democrats make policies that we say, why would any leader want less policing? Why would any leader remove the restrictions on our border? Why would any leader make us energy dependent on our enemies? Why would any leader do that? Why would any leader bring all these IRS people in, and yet want to arm them and unleash them on their people? Why would any leader do any of these things? We've been asking these questions forever. Why would any leader spy on his own people and want to attack freedom of speech? What would any leader want to remove our guns? These are things that we've been talking about forever. And now they're getting that revelation. That's the question you should be asking, buddy. Why would any leader do this to you? It's not smart.
Our children and our homes we've worked so hard on our own to secure. We are at war, people. Our community.
With your own common sense, that's what you're at war with. Your own stinking thinking, your own mistakes, your own voting choices. That's what you're at war with, brother. Don't be talking about we at war, people. No, man, you think these illegal immigrants got here by their own? By themselves? No. The folks y'all voted for, bust them straight there. And now you're talking, we at war, people. No, you're not. Yeah, the war starts right there.
These are at war. They are violating our communities, and we asking that we across the country, we asking and we're demanding for office of Black America, whatever you want to call it, to deal with issues like this.
Yeah, bro. Power to the people.
I did get placed on a wait list, but I was told that the immigrants were taking priority.
Oh, that's what you were told?
That's a story that a lot of people don't know. And
no, we knew that. We knew that story. See, y'all just finding out the story. We already read the book, saw the ending. Went out, told y'all, don't do this. Don't vote for these folks. They are putting y'all last. We knew that. When they were saying Trump's down there ripping kids from their parents and all of that and separating them. A lot of black folks on board with that crap. Listening to Democrats say that Trump's a racist because he's saying, don't let these folks come in. And I'm saying, you're right, Trump. Don't let these folks come in. Make it more difficult. Send a message that this is not welcoming. You don't come to our country and talk about I'm here for asylum and you don't really need that mess. See, but when we were saying that, all of these folks, before they realized that the cut was deep, yeah, they were, Trump, he said me call on Mexican, a rapist, white nationalist, all that. They use all of that crap that the Democrats pumped in their heads to paint Trump and anybody who supported him as a racist, as a xenophobe. Now all of them sound just like us. Why do they sound just like us? Smart, common sense, white nationalists.
It hurt me. I'm like, wait a minute. I understand we need to be humanitarian, but these people are, that my participants are third and fourth generation Chicagoans.
Yeah, and you know what hurt me, bro? It hurt me that y'all just are finding this out. That's what hurts me, brother. Hurts me that we've been trying to tell y'all this for years, and you didn't listen. And you probably don't even recognize the severity and the source of the problem right now. I mean, like I just said a few minutes ago, it's sad to say this, but I got a gut feeling by the time voting comes, they'll run it back. They'll go right back out there and repeat the same thing, just like they replaced one raggedy mayor for another one.
Born, bred, fed, and raised here. My grandmother, Mary,
sounds like America first to me. That's right.
charity starts at home first, and then it goes abroad.
Politically, having over 500 people.
Yes, ma'am. That's right, man. It's me, Bob, the stereotypical white nationalist Trump supporter, man. That's right. About time some of these blacks and Latinos and Asians and Jebusites and Hittites and Samoans and Aborigines and Pygmies wake up. Now, talk like that will make me set aside all my white nationalism and look at these folks just like my kinfolk, man. See, it ain't about the whiteness on your skin. It's about the whiteness within. That's what it is, man. About the rightness within. So these folks right now, I'm temporarily declaiming that they my brothers, man. Sound just like us, don't they? Now, God bless you, even if you're black, but talk like a white nationalist. See y'all next time. Yeah, y'all. Bob is cool with this. He's like, okay. With brothers talking like this, might set it all aside. Sounds just like Bob.
In our community would completely wipe out any interest we have.
Many of these migrants have been dumped in our neighborhoods without a plan in place to monitor and house them long term.
That's right, because Democrats don't plan. Nah. They jump, look later. They don't worry about that stuff. Let's continue.
I'm not selling nothing. And I
ain't
keep
selling
telling
nothing.
people, we don't have to move. If you sell, they gonna come in.
Tell them, Mama.
If we don't sell, we gotta stand strong and
Look at it. All black folks in that crowd talking just like what they called us, white nationalists. Now, I wonder why Joy Reid's not covering that. Do you think if that was a whole bunch of Trump supporters down there bringing up these issues, you think that it would be quiet? Nobody would be airing all it. That's just local. They would be airing that all over the place. It's obvious these people down here are upset because they're trying to stop the demographics. They're afraid that they're going to lose their power. They're afraid they're going to lose as the white man. That's what they would be saying. But those are black people. And they're sounding just like a common sense person should be thinking.
How about that?
Oh,
okay. This is interesting. Well, why not?
Chicago, baby.
Well, no, this is a hotel.
No, it's not.
It's closed?
It's
no,
closed to you stinking Americans.
You cannot come in. Well, why can't they come in?
It's closed for you.
It's closed
Why
for
is
you.
it closed for me?
Calling the cops on
me,
me.
though? I don't understand.
It's a private area, so therefore,
Woo-wee!
you're not a resident here.
That's deep right
Who
there.
are the
y'all.
residents?
Calling the cops on an
I
American.
thought this was a
who wants
hotel.
to just come and get in the hotel. A
Now,
narco-tyranny.
now, I don't understand the designation. Could you please explain it to me?
Hola. We got us a white guy who finally discovered that we reserved the hotel for illegal immigrants, and he's coming in here. He already knows that it's reserved, but he wants to come in anyway and expose the fact that we're getting privilege over American citizens. So now come take this white man away, okay? So that's what he's doing, calling the cops on this guy.
What is the designation?
I'm trying to report this.
Hi.
Oh, look at that.
Hello. Welcome.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wonder where they're from.
Could you just explain that to me? I don't understand.
No, we can't explain it.
It doesn't look like it's
because it
closed.
doesn't make sense.
Huh.
Wow.
Hi, welcome. Where are you from?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Now, you would think this hotel right here was being reserved for dignitaries and stuff. You know, I mean, they was locking it down because they're having, the G7 there or something like that. No? Interesting.
Well, enjoy your stay.
Meanwhile.
It is a slap in the face that we as citizens of the United States of America do not have the resources and support, but you're going to bring people who are not citizens here in our community, in our buildings that we pay taxes for, that you took away from us. That is completely unacceptable.
Wow.
We are in a humanitarian crisis right now.
Created by the Democrats that you voted for. That's right. So just shut your mouth. I don't want to hear somebody go get me a sock to shove straight down that throat. Somebody go get me a cork to put in that mouth. This right here is unacceptable. We done it. Yeah, Sound just like us white nationalist Trump supporters.
The black people in Chicago are bleeding on the streets.
Sure are.
Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson had this to say
Here
about
comes
the
the
migrant crisis.
I'm sure he's going to say this is a humanitarian crisis. This is unacceptable. My people comes first. I'm sure that's what he's going to say, right? This is the guy y'all voted in.
A responsibility to make sure that families who are seeking
love
and support here in the city of Chicago and throughout the state of Illinois, that they are not just welcome, but they are service.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear him with that soft, feathered down voice that I need some more bass out of? Trying to be all serene and stuff. Let's hear him again, y'all. Yes, you're listening to the softcore, melodious voice of the new softcore mayor who replaced the other manly mayor. So here you go. The people, you need to go ahead and open up your hearts and love for these people who are coming.
We have a responsibility to make sure that families who are seeking love and support here in the city of Chicago and throughout the state of Illinois, that they are not just welcome, but they are service.
Y'all hear that? How would you like hearing him tell you that? Yeah, man. How would you like hearing a new mayor come in and drop that nugget on you while your kids is playing around a whole bunch of legal immigrants? Man, I'd probably want to jump over that table and choke him. Oh, and we have responsibility to show love and compassion and service to these people. First things first, put some bass in your voice. Secondly, man up and say, hey, man, this is my city and my job is my people first. But see, Democrats don't think like that because they're not America first. That means racism when you hear MAGA.
On in here who said that this is a humanitarian crisis.
Look at all them black
My
folks.
brother was murdered in January.
Yeah.
Chicago already has a humanitarian crisis.
That's right. Yes.
We don't have enough resources to support our people here.
That's got enough.
My mother has to look out the window to see where my brother was shot at because CHA does not want to move her. Okay? So
Chicago.
my thing is, if we don't have resources to support us here already, why the hell would you all bring people here for one who don't like black people? That's already.
Too much common sense floating around now.
You all are sitting up here.
See, this type of stuff will jumpstart your common sense that's been captured. This died. Your common sense is laying there twitching, and it gets awakened when these folks get dumped in your neighborhood. Clear. Now all of a sudden you sound like you got some sense. See?
So this is just to let you all know.
Yeah.
This meeting here is a formality.
Yeah.
They have to do this. They're going to do what they want to do anyway.
Well, we gotta
That's
do
right.
what we gotta do.
You hear that dude? You hear that dude? Yeah, they did what they had to do. They didn't consult with these people. They dropped them off right there.
We got to go to jail. Don't let the bitches in.
Audience here, we have to bear responsibility to what's going on now. Because for too long, the black community has been voting for the wrong people.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. Yes. That's right. Get Michelle ass out.
Voting for race recognition and because they're black.
Because they're black. We're too busy voting for these politicians because they're black. Thank you. Y'all done fell for the okie doke. Y'all let Democrats, white liberals, and globalists use black folks to be the face for all the black folks and to keep y'all in check and keep y'all voting for them by pushing racism while they allow these white liberal Democrats to violate your cities and put your kids in danger. There you have it. So
get Al, stick your ass out. Now.
So now what we need to do collectively, when the next time the automatic races come up, we need to vote their asses out.
There you go. Need to vote them out. When Biden's term comes up, we need to vote him out. Now, I hope she's talking about not vote him out against another raggedy Democrat. Hopefully, she's smart enough to know that when Trump talks about how he would secure our border, bring jobs back, secure our streets, and all of that, that doesn't make him a white nationalist. See, that doesn't make him a white nationalist. Hopefully, she's smart enough to understand that, along with the rest of the folks. They're like, yeah!
Yes,
Stop screaming, old crazy man. So in a nutshell, in summary, here's what the Democrats delivered. I did all of that, S-H-I-T. Stolen election, closed the pipeline, opened the border, Afghanistan withdrawal, record high inflation. Oh yeah, man, incestual rape, Ukraine bailout, Hitler speeches. Look at all the wonderful things that the Democrats have given us, y'all, in these short 3 years. What else? Weaponized the FBI, 6-gallon gas. Wow. I guarantee you all of these liberal voters can appreciate this. What else? Weaponized liberals. Yeah, don't y'all like when they come in y'all cities and tear up stuff and this and that? Baby food shortages. A lot of child sniffing. A lot of that. Alphabet team in the White House. That's a good one right there. Don't y'all love that? Don't y'all love seeing Rachel Levine come on and talk about how your kids need to be validated? And Blackgate drop. And what else? What? Ghost handshakes? That's true. Yeah, they have given us that. Ghost handshakes. And then finally, poop in his pants. Democrats deliver, y'all. Calling parents terrorists. Record high gas prices. Defunding those police. There it is. Don't forget that. As you're in Chicago complaining about blood in the streets, right? CRT, that's what got y'all, hoodwinked in the first place. Voting for these folks, CRT. You're down with CRT? Heck, no, not me. What else? 2 million illegals. Woo! More the merrier. Aren't you excited about our new family members? 2 million illegals, grocery shortages. Yeah. I'd be wondering where all those eggs at. Recession. $6 billion to you. $60 billion to Ukraine. And this meme was a while ago. It's probably more than that now. All of that money could be going to Chicago. Could be going to inner city New York. All of these places where those folks was complaining. But instead it's over in Ukraine. Baby formula shortage, violent crime. Of course, Afghanistan open border, high taxes. Grooming our kids. And I ain't talking about haircuts. I ain't talking about dropping perms in them. Nah, man. I ain't talking about shaving them. Nope. Making them wash. All between the cracks. We know what we talking about when we say that. Oh, fentanyl deaths. Don't forget those. Don't forget that. All courtesy of the Democrat Party. See now president. Oh, aren't y'all just ecstatic about that dude running around talking about John Katang Jackson? Aren't y'all just proud of that man? And then cost of food going up, federal spending. God bless the United States. You know the thing. That's the guy in the White House. You know the thing. There he is. Oh, wait. America is not for sale. That's right. It's true. We already bought him. Joseph Biden, you will not shoot down that balloon because of that $1.5 billion deal. That's right. That's why we're in the condition that we're in. All of this corruption led to this mess. All of that FBI interference. All of that crap that went on the first term of Trump and the second term has led to this. It all plays in. It all ties together, man. Hopefully, American citizens can put it together. Hopefully, now they can all start seeing cause and effect. Hopefully, they can now say, you know what? I'm upset about how y'all played in that first election all the way through the second election. And don't let it happen again in 2024, or else you'll get more of this whole montage. That's what you'll get. You'll get a lot more of that. And I don't want that. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want that mess. They can keep that. That's the crap that Democrats have delivered these last 2.5, 3 years. And they want to deliver more because Joe Biden said, I got to finish the work. A lot more work to do. Haven't completely destroyed the whole country. That guy. So you could vote for him if you want. New York, Washington, Cali, all of these places as they flood your cities with all of this crap. And Mayorkas talking about that part there is secure. You can do that if you want. But this is what you're going to get. So send my video to all of them. I'll do my best to isolate some of these little highlights from this. I already done put together the storyboard, all these clips, the compilation of clips that I used to cover. And I uploaded them last night. So if you want just the clips without the commentary, that you can send because they have continuity to them. You know, they're dealing with a theme. So if you know somebody who's mad about illegal immigration, send that one to them because it's a theme in all of those clips. If you know somebody who's upset about corruption and collusion and they still blinded by Trump derangement syndrome, thinking that Trump cheated and won, send them those. I broke it up into 2 parts. They're on my channel. I'm going to upload them to my other ones as well. So please subscribe to those other channels just in case they get mad at me on this one. Follow me on Rumble, all of that stuff. Okay. And I want to say I sure enough appreciate every single one of y'all, even though the notifications didn't go out to a lot of y'all. We're still, you know, up there in the 250s and things like that. But imagine if all 189,000 notifications went out to my subscribers. So unfortunately, YouTube's doing their best, probably sent it out to about 10 of y'all. So that's what we're working with. And until times get better, we'll continue to work around the system. So God bless y'all. God bless America. And we will catch y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care. Somebody said thanks for another great show. No, thank you. This is our city. I know you see the balls. I know you see the ants. I know you see the way we tear up the place. Yeah. Take care.